Good morning, everybody. I'm Reverend Jim Kulbaski, and you are at service number 11, entitled Humility. We are at the Divine Energy Spiritual Center, operating out of Infinite Energy Holistic Center in Manassas, Virginia. I've been telling a lot of jokes to my friends and family lately, sort of annoying them, so today we're going to start with something funny. So a minister was conducting his service, and during the service he said, "Everybody who wants to go to heaven, come down to the front." So everybody came to the front except for one man. And the minister, thinking that this man didn't hear him, repeats himself and says, "Everybody who wants to go to heaven, please come down to the front." Well, this guy remains in his seat. So the minister calls him out and says, "Excuse me, sir, but everybody who wants to go to heaven when they die, come to the front." And the man said, "Oh, when they die, I thought you were gathering a group to go now." So, I would like to just begin with the side note that at the last service, I offered healing consultation for anybody who was interested. And I was very pleased that a number of people reached out to me. But it shows that there are people out there who are looking for somebody to talk to about whether it's something spiritual, about something difficult in their life that's not spiritual. So anybody who has a need to reach out to somebody, please reach out to me or the center, and we're happy to help you out. There's a contact form on our website, divineenergysc.com, or just call Infinite Energy Holistic Center. So the last service we had, number 10, was on manifesting. And in that service, what we learned was ask for something, believe it's going to happen, and it's going to come true. So as an example, we heard about the gardener's badge, a story that Erica read for us. Thanks, Erica. And the man who owned a gardening center wore a badge that said business is great. And even if business was down a little bit, this was his way of manifesting a great business. But suppose that the neighboring gardening center was having a difficult financial time, and the owner can't put food on the table and trying to figure out he can't buy his children clothes. And he sees the gardener with the badge, business is great. So to him, that comes across as boasting. He's bragging about his business. Meanwhile, this guy has nothing and it's going down. So we need to be careful about how to balance the boasting with the manifesting. I titled this service Humility, but in reading about humility, I saw a lot of definitions I didn't like, especially in the religious context. In the religious context, there are some churches saying that you must be humble and you must lower yourself in humility in order to receive God. And that didn't resonate with me, not at all. So really what I'm talking about is the desire to be humble and not brag. And in thinking about this, I came across a Facebook post by Jennifer Tingen, one of the people who comes out here a lot. And Jennifer's Facebook post had a motivational poster on it. It was, "Work hard, stay humble, be kind." And that's really exactly what today is about and how we should act. Humility, the strict definition, is freedom from pride or arrogance. And freedom from pride, but what is this? Somebody who's a good medium or is good at their job, it's okay for them to be proud of themselves. It's okay for somebody to march in a gay pride parade and be proud of who they are. So that definition of humility really doesn't work. I think a more appropriate and simple definition is really, don't talk about yourself in a way that turns people off. Don't blow your own horn. Stay humble and operate out of a state of love. Joyce read about the boasting traveler and how he could jump. That's a perfect example of who you don't want to be. In a different service, I talked about love being the highest vibration. Sometimes our sarcasm, our proudness, our need for validation, or our own insecurities will allow an overly proud or boastful statement to slip. But if you're always operating from a position of love, then it will be more tolerable. For example, if you're a veterinarian, and I say this for my daughter in Scotland who is tuning in, you're a good veterinarian because you love animals and you want to help them. If you're a counselor, you're helping people and you're doing that really out of love. Be generous, provide friendship, use your gifts for other people. And if you're operating out of a state of love, then a slip up of a word, people will understand who you are and not really worry about that. Integrity and humility go hand in hand. The definition of integrity is a firm adherence to a code of moral values. Be sure you have integrity in what you do and how you're serving. Don't overcharge. Don't cut corners. Be generous with what you offer and always explain the circumstances and details of what you're offering so people don't misinterpret or have a misunderstanding of how things should work out in the end. Don't talk about yourself in the first person. That's really the easiest thing to avoid. Don't say, I did a great reading, or the healing that I did was super. Just say, the reading went very well, or the healing was quite effective. The key is not talking about yourself, it's about being in service. Don't compare yourself with other people. Comparison, by definition, puts down one of the people in the comparison and saying you're better than him. So, also, in manifesting, you say, I am going to be the best healer in the world. Well, if you say that, then by definition, you're comparing yourself with everyone else, and that doesn't sound right. You can say, I strive to be the best healer I can be. But even in humility and humbleness, you still need to manifest and state those positive statements. You can say, this is going to be a powerful healing session. This is going to be the best healing session that I've ever done, because you're not comparing yourself, you're not putting other people down. You still need to manifest. Phrase it so you're not bragging. If you're concerned about how you're going to be perceived, say it in a place that's not public, or just think it to yourself. My dear friend Celeste Woods, my teacher, mentor, she taught how to accept a compliment. When somebody says, Chris, that was the best mediumship reading, it was such a healing message. You don't put yourself down and say, it was nothing. That is lessening the experience of the person, because you're saying it was nothing and you're putting yourself down. The best response is a simple thank you. Also, you can credit others who helped you, whether it was Spirit who came through clearly for you, or it was your teacher or somebody, but that is a good way to move forward and credit other people. You can also say how honored you are to be in service, and it's a good feeling. So, thank you. I was helped by others, and I'm honored to do this. And I take this from how Chris did her group mediumship platform. She did so incredibly well at the Center for Spiritual Enlightenment last week. And when she was done, and people came up to her and said how touching it was, this is exactly how she answered them. So Chris, thank you for teaching me how to do that. So I've been talking for the last 10 minutes about humbleness and humility. And a lot of you may be thinking, I am a humble person. The only person that really needs a lesson on humility is Reverend Jim. He needs to practice what he preaches. But there's another side to this. And that is, we are human and we all react to other people's words. So part of this service is how you should react when you hear somebody making a boastful statement. And new healers may talk about how amazing this is. They never imagined that they could call upon God to heal people. They never imagined they could deliver a healing message from a mediumship or an angel reading. So their enthusiasm may be a little bit too strong and may be interpreted as a boast. And if you look at them and think negatively about that statement that they made, you're really judging them. And judging them could be just as bad as the boast itself. Now, I really didn't understand what exactly judging meant until I had a conversation with a spiritual teacher of mine. And I said in a conversation, I feel sorry for my friend. My friend is an atheist. And there are so many wonderful things that the universe and God has to offer, and this person doesn't believe. If only they could believe. And she said, don't judge your friend. I said, but I'm not judging my friend. I'm just trying to hope that he sees things from a different light and thinks better. And she said, Jim, what you're doing is you're saying that the person is not having as good of an experience as you, that your way is right and their way is not as good as yours. So that's judging. And that really opened up my eyes that how easy it could be for us to look upon how other people act and how they think and to try to impose our beliefs or our values on them. Everybody has their own path and their own way to proceed, so we shouldn't think anything less of them. We shouldn't think less of people who are proud to march in the gay pride parade. We shouldn't think of less of somebody who's a strong salesman and says, I'm a great salesman, I can go out and do this, because they're manifesting their future. And they really, when they're operating from a place that they believe they should be coming from, that they're operating from a place of love, you should not make that judgment. Look at their intention. Cut them some slack. Don't judge. So I'll conclude with the following quotation from a minister named William Temple. Humility does not mean thinking less of yourself than of others, nor does it mean having a low opinion of your own gifts. It means freedom from thinking about yourself one way or the other at all. So remove yourself from the picture. Go out in service. Help your fellow man. Don't judge what other people say, and manifest in a positive way to help yourself and to help others. Since you're operating from a position of love, those around you will feel your true intention. Thank you very much.